As our partners grow, so do the demands of managing clients in a digital-first world. That's why CloudRadial now brings security roles and role assignments front and center, designed specifically to support our larger clients and enterprise-tier partners as they scale operations, delegate responsibilities, and refine access across a growing user base. And now, with role assignments, applying those roles is easier and more powerful than ever. Assign roles by user, by company, or even by group, which is especially critical for enterprise partners using company groups and user groups to streamline user management at scale. And good news, there's no pressure to figure out something new if you don't need to. All of your existing roles have been carried over automatically. No rework needed, no disruption. Note that this update does not apply to Portal 365 partners. Role and role assignments are exclusive to CloudRadial CSA tiers, Starter, Professional, and Enterprise, with the greatest flexibility unlocked for enterprise clients. Before I get into it, keep in mind that this isn't just a feature, it's a foundation for growth. As your opportunity in CloudRadial expands, security roles help reduce complexity while opening the door to better delegation, stronger compliance, and greater client service visibility. Let's dive in. Okay, so roles and role assignments. Let's start by taking a look at partner on the left here, down to security. And then we're going to start with the roles tab just to recap what's changed. We've updated the UI of this page. It's a little bit different, a little bit cleaner. And we've changed the name of two of our stock roles. We changed owner to partner administrator to better reflect what we call our own clients, our partners. We've also changed impersonation to company administrator to be clearer on what the impersonation role is intended to do. And this is the role that you assume when you impersonate a generic admin inside of a given company. So no major changes, won't change the functionality if you've been using CloudRadial. It's just name changes. When you go to add a new role, we've added a couple things. For one, you can set a default role for new users. This is going to be the role that users take when they first get loaded into your portal. We still recommend user being the default, but we've given you the flexibility to choose something that you prefer instead. You're also now able to grant permissions to that role of whether they want to impersonate users. So if they have access to usage users, this role would be able to impersonate users in that list. Or impersonate admin, and admin all features would be used to impersonate companies. So they would need access to partner clients. Typical use case for a role like this would be like a administrator in your own system that you want to be able to impersonate other companies, like more of like a limited view account manager or service desk manager, something of the sort. Module permissions have not changed, and these are pretty well documented, so for the sake of brevity, I'll skip all the module permissions here. Okay, so let's take a look at role assignments, the real star of the show, and the net new feature. Role assignments allows you to view the roles assigned to users, first of all, on one simple page, which is really nice from a visibility standpoint, but it also allows you to assign those roles really easily and scalably from that same page. If we click on Add Role Assignment at the top, we can look through a couple of different use cases. So for your scope types, you're going to be able to set the scope of where you want to apply that role, either in an individual company, to a company group, or globally with a partner level permission. Company group and user group assignments are, again, only available for CSA Enterprise, but CSA Starter and Professional will get the other options. And this is not applicable to Portal 365 because Portal 365 does not have customizable roles. Let's work through our use case here. Let's pick a scope type of company, and we're going to pick a specific company to apply a role to. So let's say Horizon Global. And for the role, I'm going to apply a billing role, right? I am theoretically saying I would like to apply a billing role to somebody in Horizon Global. Whether that somebody is a specific user or people in a user group, again with Enterprise, up to you. But when I click on user, I'm able to select either people within Horizon or people within Blue Fox, which is the partner company. Use case number one is if I want to make multiple people inside of Horizon Company a billing user, I can do that just by multi-selecting here as needed. And if I also want to give somebody in my own company billing view, that allows them to have multiple roles that are dependent on the company they're in. So it gives them more flexibility and more visibility into more companies depending on my own use case and needs. This is a pretty useful scenario, especially for people that don't want to have to assign roles individually. It should save quite a bit of time for people using this. Let's look at a brand new role. So let's say I want to add a role assignment, but I want to do that from the partner company. This is going to be essentially global. So scope is irrelevant because we're not doing it for any given company. And I want to assign something like, more appropriately, probably like a company administrator or like a limited global admin. The real benefit of doing something like this is I can actually pick users in my own company to apply these minor roles to, so that way I can delegate something like an account manager or like a service desk manager with a smaller permission set, but still powerful enough to access multiple companies. So this is great in use cases where you want to fine tune exactly the access that people within your own partner company have. The last scope between these two is going to be company group. Company group is going to allow you to essentially pick a group of companies that are bundled with a label, a company group. So let's say in this tenant, my English speaking companies, and then I can assign roles to that company set. The primary use case and why this is really valuable for enterprise people is because in this case, I may have an account manager managing over, set of companies A or set of companies B. And in this case, I can select that set of companies, select a role that is appropriate. Again, a limited administrator or a power user, whatever have you. And then I can select to make a user or user group that level of administrative access. So in either case scenario, you're either saving time and applying roles en masse, you are fine tuning the assignment of those roles to your own internal people, or you are giving power to your own internal people to have limited subsets of power to various companies, opening better, tighter security management across the board. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on this, test it, and try out your own use cases and let us know what you think. And last but not least, I want to show you that for those fearing a new system, you can still use exactly the same way that you've been using CloudRadial without really any change. What I mean by that is role assignments are here to help you do this faster, but if you want to go and keep using the old method, assigning roles individually, you can do that. So whether you're in usage users in a specific company, or you go to partner clients and you specifically pick the user list, when you select a user in whichever way you can find them, let's take Aaliyah here for an example, you can click on this and they'll have a role assignments tab now where you can do fundamentally the same thing. When you pick the individual role assignment, you can add it yourself manually as a one-off like this, or if they're getting their role assignment by attribution, such as through user groups, it'll list that here. And just as easily, you can remove these role assignments and play with them fundamentally the same way it's always been. If you're interested in this feature, please go ahead and play with it. And if it's not for you or not really relevant for your use case, great news. It doesn't actually change anything about the way you've been using CloudRadial because all of your roles will already have been moved over to this system without any interruption. Thanks again for watching, guys, and let us know what you think. See you later.